landed a soundbar. Gonna do things with it and then talk about it on video while you watch. Hey, what's up everybody? Daniel here from Never Enough Tech. Yep, we're taking a good long peek at the Powers Wilkins all-in-one soundbar, the Panorama 3, released early 2022 for $1,000. My incredibly acute intuition is signaling that the Panorama 3 is trying to soil the Sonos Arcs and Bose 900's lawn, being similarly priced, released by a Halo-esque brand, and being crafted for those that are seeking all-around sophistication, elegance, user-friendliness, even perhaps at the expense of highly desired features. I don't want to waste your time, so I'll lay it out there. This is not my top bar if pitted against the Arc or 900, but I encourage you to watch and tell me why I'm an idiot. All right, let's dig in on the Panorama 3. Setup, good news. It's a download the Powers Wilkins app, follow the instructions, connect to your network, and you're good to go kind of setup. B&W mandates creating an account, which may annoy you, but mercifully, getting the bar up and running was heartache-free and relatively fast, which was extremely appreciated. Buggy soundbars, particularly during setup, makes me want to delete my channel. No need to comment. Design and build. The number one defining characteristic is the bumped out sides, which perhaps gives the bar a been sat on kind of vibe. But maybe this is kind of what you want the sound equipment under your TV to be. Squat the down. Especially if both TV and bar are sitting on a media center. The Panorama sits only 2.5 inches high, putting it on the slim end. The Panorama 3's visual character is also shaped by this illuminated capacitive control panel stripped across the top. The top of the bar is mostly a flat grille with rounded corners. You can see drivers and air valves through the grille if you stare at it long enough. You'll find your ports in the back of the bar pointing straight back, which is my favorite way to do it. Also, while back here, I do want to call out these two rubber stoppers covering these mounting holes. These holes are compatible with this provided mount, so hopefully making your get your gadget on the wall while your wife watches journey a little less fraught. On the bottom of the bar, you'll find 8 rubber feet for stability. You can tell right away when rescuing the bar from its packaging that the bar's physicality has been skillfully crafted and that you're dealing with a sophisticated product. The build materials are high quality, including dense plastic, metal, and a very tight, no-wiggle coarse fabric covering the bar's front and side grille. It's an attractive bar, no doubt. However, the idea that this is something like the best-looking bar out there is a little over-enthusiastic. Randu Orbison. Driver array. The bar advertises itself as a 3.1.2 all-in-one bar. Stop blinking. Yes, there is a .1 in the middle, where a .1 usually looks something like this. And get that dumb look off your face. Yes, this ambiguous quasi-flagship bar has only 3 ear level channels, as opposed to 5 or 7. The 3 ear level channels are all in front, nothing on the sides, nor will you find any phase guide funny business to simulate side-firing drivers, as you have on the Bose 900 and Sony HDA 7000. Each ear level channel is made of a dual woofer tweeter trio, which typically bodes well for the sound. The ear level tweeters are 19mm titanium domes. The woofers, 50mm woven glass fiber cones. The rest of the drivers are on the top, which includes a left and right upward firing height driver, which I believe to be very similar in construction, if not identical, to the ear level woofers. The bass channel is supported by a 4-inch upward firing bass unit on each side of the bar. The official supported frequency range is 43 Hz to 48 kHz, so don't expect this bar to implode your Windows. Your Windows are in safe hands. Ports. For many of you, this might be a swipe left situation. Top of list, HDMI eARC with no other HDMI inputs, so you can pass your lossless audio formats, but you are reliant on a probably 2020 or later eARC-enabled TV to complete the lossless handshake, as you will not be able to plug other sources like your Blu-ray player or gaming console directly into the bar. You'll also find optical, Ethernet, and a USB-C port, but for service only. Elegance over utility. Supported audio formats, the Dolby Suite and LPCM. That's the story, but I'm going to keep prattling on. You heard right, no DTS support unfortunately, so you will need to convert your DTSs, they're probably Blu-ray discs or something, to Dolby's to make it work. So your Blu-ray player can't usually manage this conversion and settings with the sound tax, of course. Dolby support includes the highest tier Dolby Codecs, including Dolby Digital Plus, so the one your streaming services use, and Dolby True HD, the Dolby Premium lossless format you'll find on your more modern Blu-rays. Both of these Dolby formats support Dolby Atmos, Dolby's 3D audio codec that everyone thinks is so cool these days. Just want to reiterate that you will not get everything out of your Dolby True HD and LPCM, both of which are data-rich lossless formats, unless your TV supports eARC. Plain old ARC will result in a noticeably downgraded sound. Connectivity, yes, both AirPlay 2 and Bluetooth, so a minor dunk on the ARC there. The Panorama 3 supports Qualcomm's aptX adaptive Bluetooth technology, which supports high-res audio. Unfortunately, however, this Bluetooth technology is left off all iOS devices and is only on select Android devices, not including Samsung. Maybe worth some research to see if your device is compatible. The Panorama 3 boasts a handful of integrated services, including Qobuz, Tidal, Deezer, and TuneIn. I confirmed with Powers Wilkins that of the integrated services, only Qobuz supports a high-res stream to the Panorama 3. It does seem to me that if you go through the trouble of enabling high-res streaming for your consumers, that you might confirm stream quality on the now playing screen. I'm sure B&W will remedy this right away as I'm complaining about it. And you also get Alexa with a built-in mic for those occasions that yelling at your bar feels right. I do not see a mic mute button, so that may sour the voice option for you a bit. The bar controls. It's a decent lineup. They're all capacitive and back illuminated. There is a hand sensor, so just when you feel like filing a complaint, the controls appear. Nifty implementation. The controls include a multifunction button for setup purposes, pairing, and toggling through active streams like HDMI, eARC, Bluetooth, and AirPlay. You also have a volume, play pause, and touch Alexa button. Touch to speak to Alexa button seems like an important distinction. The app. Respect. It doesn't suck. It does the kinds of things you think it should do, like setup, linking services, searching and browsing for media, which include B&W curated playlists. You'll find basic EQ adjustments, remote setup, and software update reset functionality. The app is smooth and works as intended. Where you might get really disappointed is when seeking audio adjustment options. You'll find just treble and bass, no channel controls, night modes, sound profiles, or room calibrations. If you like to tinker with your bar to get that perfect sound, you will find this product to be a little standoffish. Multiroom and expansion options. The Panorama 3 can sync with other Powers Wilkins wireless speakers for multi-room playback. Each speaker is technically assigned a space, and only one speaker is allowed in each space, so if you want to treat multiple speakers in one room as a single unit, well, you can't technically, so you'll have to create multiple spaces in a room and then group them. Want to expand the bar into a full-blown surround system? Too bad, there are no compatible bass or surround modules to take the Panorama 3 to the next level. Maybe this will change, maybe it won't. Just keep that in mind if you're seeking a system with all those separate components. The display. The bar does not really have a traditional display, not even a traditional minimalist display. The closest thing is this little LED strip which lights up blue on a Alexa evocation. It also illuminates red if there is a network connection error. Though I've had the display light up red when the bar was working perfectly fine. Let's just call it a startup/Alexa response light with some bugs thrown in. It's really one of the weirdest little bits of a bar I've come across. Sound bug. While testing the bar, I was running software version 1.4, so this could be fixed by the time you watch. What happened to me? Well, the sound cuts out for a fraction of a second when I change volume, which is annoying and disruptive. It happened when I used my 2019 Q70R TV, but not with my Sony, so maybe it's just a Samsung issue. I didn't experience long cutouts based on codec switching, as I've heard from other reviewers, but I would take their concerns seriously if sound cutout bugs drive you nuts.
I don't care.
The sound. Okay, I know there are some sentiments out there that the sound of this bar is irredeemable. I wouldn't go that far, but I do sense that a sound profile was adopted that may turn off a significant number of you. Let's start with music. In general, the sound comes across a bit squeezed and overly superficial. The bar just seems to be heavily sound effects forward, like a small cake with too much icing to make up for the size. To give the bar its due, you're getting atmospherics and sparkle, so you're definitely not missing those manic, electronic, high-pitched beat embellishments. These are all elements you want to spread on your sound for sure, for character. The question is how much? The answer is probably not this much. There's an Arcade Fire song I've been listening to quite a bit, Age of Anxiety 2, Rabbit Hole, where the song transitions from a prodding call and response tune to a driving beat club song with the 16 beats being slowly introduced during the transition. This requires some restraint for maximum effect. The bar just seems to lack the savvy to execute this transition in a nuanced way. The bar's low end is competent, but nothing close to the performance of a dedicated sub. I'll say this, it blows away your TV sub. As far as I could tell, it supported the sound with sufficient nimbleness. It's not sloppy, it does its job, though not at a .1 level. It should be pointed out that if soundbars are to shine relative to a dedicated 2.0 or .1 system, it would be spatial music, where the aim is to leverage sophisticated software and drivers pointed in many directions to place different sound objects in different parts of the room, maybe raising your arm hair a bit. I'd say I generally enjoyed Atmos music more than a 2.1 mix on the Panorama 3, but let's make this perfectly clear. It's an incremental improvement. I don't remember my pants ever coming off.
Bite the back of your hand good.
And all Atmos soundbars, I believe, similarly benefit from an Atmos source. Video, largely the same conclusions. The tweeter-rich effects are overly aggressive for my taste. The core of the sound seems to constantly be undervalued, probably both by choice and through hardware limitations. The Atmos effect is respectable for a standalone bar, but not exceptional, not even at the price point. The strongest effect is vertical, though I didn't sense anything close to the prominent surround sound objects that are achieved with dedicated surround speakers, though there were hints of spatial audio in back of me here and there. In short, I think the Panorama 3 strove for something like a hyper-modern sound, which makes most sense on a soundbar, but the sound was just not for me, and I'd guess a lot of you would feel the same. Wrap up. It's important to keep in mind that when I review sound, it's a nitpicky exercise. I'm likely not reflecting the mindset that most people adopt when they're trying to enjoy their soundbar. I think only a small percent of the population would burst into my listening space and immediately throw shade at the Panorama 3. Most would think it sounds awesome because it's probably far better than their TV or 8-year-old $300 soundbar. I do like to keep in perspective that all these bars are kind of a modern marvel. The Panorama 3, all things considered, is an above average bar. The high quality build and sharp looks, the stable app and integrated services, the option to combine the bar with other products both via AirPlay and B&W Multiroom capabilities. While the sound is not my speed, and I suspect many of you will share my opinion, I can imagine that there is a significant contingent that would be pleased with the highly textured nature of the sound. Okay, how the Sonos Arc, Bose 900, and Panorama 3 stack up in my book. Music playback. I think the Bose 900 most reliably gives you something like a chill with its sound profile and its speaker technology. I think it manages to provide quite a bit of texture while maintaining a soul. The Sonos Arc, I'll admit I've become habituated to Sonos, having had Sonos products for nearly 10 years now. But the Arc's performance is always quite good, spacious, professional, reliable, but maybe a bit too restrained from time to time, which can lead the sound away from sounding optimally crisp. The Panorama, I put it third just because, well, I think you understand from my previous commentary. For video and just the bar, I prefer Arc as it does the best job with spatial audio, probably because it has drivers firing from the sides of the bar. It strikes me as the most cinematic of the three. The 900, I like the sound. It's just not as spacious or cinematic as the Arc. Panorama, again, I think you get the idea. The best home theater setup. I'd say Sonos for many reasons, But if just talking sound, I think its surrounds and bass modules are more competent than Bose. So the Arc has the best sound potential as a full system. It also bests the other two bars on the music integration and ecosystem front. The Panorama 3, as you might expect, is held way, way back, to some degree with the sound profile, but mostly by not having a way to get bigger and better with a separate bass and surround module. That's all I got. If you have an itch to comment, don't fight it. Gonna wrap this up. Catch you on the next one.